In combat sports, there are fighters who win, fighters who dominate. And then there are fighters so gifted the sport itself seems too small for them. A fighter who should have been the greatest of all time. Undisputed, unquestioned.
And new undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Jon Jones!
Jon Jones. A name that should mean perfection, should be spoken with only reverence. Instead, it's wrapped in contradiction. The most talented fighter the UFC has ever seen, and the most controversial.
You got up front, I guess, in front of all the people, you got a little hype and got it in my face. I actually admire that you can actually be this fake, and like when the TV comes on, how you can just change. Thank you.
A man who has beaten every opponent placed in front of him, yet struggled with battles outside the cage.
I didn't get stripped from my championship.
I had a long year. Court cases, lawsuits, just a whole bunch of stuff, you know?
I'm a good person, and Jon, you are a bad person.
This is not a story about a fighter who never had talent. This is a story about a man who had everything and lost it.
I hate you. I hate you.
Again and again and again.
Jon Bones Jones was arrested and charged with a DWI early Saturday morning. Police told Action News that Jon Jones was on the scene and it was his 2012 Bentley that had crashed into a telephone pole at the corner.
Genius and recklessness, dominance and destruction, greatness and darkness. The most dangerous fighter in the UFC, dangerous to his opponents, and, as events would show, dangerous to himself. The prodigy. March 19th, 2011, Newark, New Jersey. UFC 128. The Prudential Center is packed. Main event for the light heavyweight championship.
Shogun and Jones, our main event of the evening for the light heavyweight title.
Mauricio Shogun Rua, the champion, a living legend, defends against a challenger who seems impossibly young, Jon Jones, 23 years old, 3 years into his career, the youngest to ever challenge for a UFC title. The consensus among analysts: Shogun is too experienced, Jon is talented, but this is too much. Too soon, he's not ready, or so the experts predicted.
Flying knee early. Red trunks for Jones, head kick. White trunks for Shogun. Right away, Jones opens up wide. Creative, unorthodox, but it also can leave you exposed.
Big windup by Shogun there, telegraphed it. Jon just ducked right out of the way.
Oh my! Spinning back elbow.
Up against the cage, I mean, stuff like that. He's just so creative in there.
The fight begins, and within seconds, the predictions prove wrong. Jon moves unlike any fighter before him. Long, rangy, unpredictable. 84.5-inch reach, the longest in UFC history. He uses every inch. Jabs from impossible angles, elbows like knives, kicks with brutal precision. Shogun, the veteran, the champion, the legend, cannot solve the puzzle, cannot time him, cannot hit him. Jon is everywhere and nowhere, fighting from positions that don't exist in textbooks, spinning elbows from the clinch, kicks from impossible ranges, moving backward while attacking forward. Beautiful and violent and completely overwhelming. Round after round, Jon dismantles the champion, not with one punch, with systematic surgical destruction. By the third round, it's not a fight, it's a statement. Shogun looks helpless. The referee stops it.
It's a man against boys. I mean, this is just the story of every Jon Jones fight.
That one hurt him, that one opened him.
Brutal elbow.
Big elbows, trying to finish this fight.
Shogun's badly hurt, Mike.
Jon Jones! looking to finish Shogun.
Vicious knee to the body and an uppercut.
Jones to the body. Jon Jones is the youngest champion in UFC history.
Jon Jones is the new light heavyweight champion of the world at 23, the youngest champion in UFC history. The crowd erupts, commentators in shock.
He's the leader of the next generation.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the future. He is the present and he is the future. And he might be the greatest talent that we've ever seen in the UFC.
Champions don't get made this fast. Prodigies don't become legends this quickly. But Jon Jones appears to be something different, something the sport has never seen. Post-fight, Jon is calm, composed, almost serene, thanks God. Thanks his coaches. Says this is only the beginning. He's right. The reign of dominance begins. Jon defends the title again and again. Quinton Rampage Jackson, Lyoto Machida, Rashad Evans, Vitor Belfort, Chael Sonnen, every top contender, every dangerous fighter, Jon defeats them all. And he doesn't just defeat them, he dominates them. Against Machida, a master striker, Jon finishes him with a standing guillotine.
And he did that when he used his wrestling. Oh!
Again they battle in another big knee. 45 seconds on the clock in the second.
He's got a choke.
Trying to choke him out and
He's
finish the fight here.
Lyoto's in trouble.
Trying to finish this fight. It is all over. It is all over.
Wow.
Jon Jones remains.
Against Belfort, a knockout artist, Jon nearly tears his arm off with an armbar.
See the damage done to the eye from those elbows of Jones. Big John McCarthy right on top of the action.
Oh, he's gonna get smushed. This is it. Oh man, big elbows by Jon Jones.
Not good for Belfort.
He's trying to get him in a mounted crucifix. He just needs to secure the right arm. Now he's going for a Kimura.
It is all over.
That's it.
Jon Jones remains the UFC light heavyweight champion.
Against Sonnen, a dominant wrestler, Jon submits him with elbows and a choke.
Knee to the body, same technique that finished him with Anderson Silva. And there's a nasty elbow over the top, and another one, and a punch. Vicious elbow, another vicious elbow, another punch.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Keith Peterson has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 33 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by TKO and still the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world.
Fight after fight, Jon finds a way. Not through size, not through strength, through intelligence, creativity, skill. His fight IQ is exceptional. He sees openings others miss, adjusts mid-fight in ways that stun coaches. He invents techniques on the fly, spinning elbows, oblique kicks, shoulder strikes, moves that become his signature, moves other fighters begin studying and copying. By 2013, Jon Jones is considered unstoppable, unbeatable, the greatest light heavyweight of all time, at only 26. Analysts talk about his legacy in decades. How many titles will he win? How many records will he break? The questions aren't if Jon will be great. The questions are how great. Jon Bones Jones. A nickname that fits, long, lean, skeletal, but deceptively powerful. A body built for fighting in ways that seem unfair. And inside that body, a mind that understands combat at a level few ever reach. This appears to be a fighter who will own the sport for the next decade, who will retire as the undisputed greatest of all time, whose only challenge will be time itself. But events outside the cage will tell a different story, one Jon cannot control through skill or strategy. The fall. The first public controversy arrives in 2012, not in the cage, outside it. Jon is scheduled to defend against Dan Henderson, weeks away. Then Henderson pulls out injured. UFC offers a replacement.
I was supposed to fight Jon Jones in the UFC for a title, and I got injured before the fight and had to pull out, and you never got that chance to fight him.
So I'm really grateful that I get to finally compete against this legend. It would have been nice to be able to throw punches, but For now, we'll test each other in a different way.
Yeah, it'll be fun to get in there and see how I do against him. I think Jon Jones is a good wrestler, but I'm pretty sure I can choke him.
I'm just a really competitive person. I've never lost in martial arts, including jiu-jitsu. So when I go out there and compete against Henderson, I'm going to absolutely do everything in my power to win.
Odds are we're probably going to end up in overtime, and I'm going to be trying to break his arm off.
It would make him feel a lot better going out beating a guy who's never lost in martial arts. So I know he's going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and I'm going to make sure that I stay undefeated in all martial arts.
Chael Sonnen, 8 days notice. Jon's coaches advise him to decline. They cite the stylistic challenges on short notice. Jon declines the fight. UFC can't find a replacement.
What did you think about the fight this weekend?
I was in Japan. I saw highlights of it. Pretty crazy.
Is Jon Jones officially back?
He got the job done, and he's a champ now, so yeah.
For the first time in company history, they cancel an entire event. UFC 151 is scrapped. Dana White publicly criticizes Jon, calls his decision selfish, says a real champion fights anyone, anywhere. The media response is harsh. Fans express disappointment. Jon attempts to explain.
You know, I think more of his striking, like H-Bound, he's a very talented fighter. It seems like it's like an instinctive missile. He just lands at all different angles with that right hand. His wrestling is a little older. I've been out of college for almost 5 years now. I don't enjoy wrestling as much as I used to. Dan's, way older than being out of college 5 years. So I'm sure his passion for wrestling could be, slowly, possibly decreasing, and maybe he's focusing on the striking more. So, his striking is more concerned than his wrestling.
The backlash continues. Fighters on the undercard lose their paychecks. The narrative shifts. Then come more serious incidents. January 2015, Jon tests positive for cocaine metabolites.
Hey, so I just saw that Jon Jones tested positive for cocaine.
Oh my God.
After his fight.
You've got to be kidding me.
Does this make him line for line the best fighter of all time, or what do you guys think? Or is it just a bump in the road? What do you, honestly, I mean, do you think his game plan was poke and coke? Or no, I'm kidding. No, I mean, what does this do to Jon Jones, for real?
Wow, I don't know. This is crazy.
Out of competition. Not a banned substance under the rules, but the test is made public. Jon Jones, the champion who publicly thanks God in every interview, has cocaine in his system.
I beat you after a weekend of cocaine.
And prostitutes. Wait. I thought that first time was the first time you did cocaine.
I had
you had been doing cocaine.
I had two.
Okay, I get your super
I had
drugs.
2 great
Congratulations.
Back-to-back weekends. Cocaine one, your ass the next. It was great. That's a month for the ages.
That's one hell of a weekend for a millionaire druggie.
Hey.
Jon admits to recreational use, calls it a mistake, says he will seek help. The admission creates questions. Jon has presented himself as clean-cut, religious, a role model. The gap between public image and private behavior becomes visible. April 27, 2015, Albuquerque, early morning. Jon is driving a rental car, runs a red light, crashes into 2 vehicles. One car is driven by a pregnant woman. She suffers injuries.
I was going on the green light, going that way, and he was running the red light. I remember seeing him, and he kept going. He just hit me on my driver's side.
Witnesses report seeing a man flee the scene on foot. Police find marijuana and cash in the rental.
Jon Jones? Dude, I wonder if this is that fighter's car.
Pro MMA, bro. That's it.
Where?
Pro MMA, it's right here. That's it.
Charlie 523
Pro MMA.
The caller's advising them.
Yep. Well, he's...
Yep, he is.
Witnesses report the man returned briefly, then fled again. Hours later, police locate and arrest Jon. He faces a felony charge for leaving the scene of an accident. The details are damaging.
And Judge, we do have an agreement on this case. The defendant is admitting to violating amended paragraph 2, which is failure to report police contact in a timely manner. The agreement is 1, he's to complete a driver improvement course, 2, enroll in an anger management course, 3, complete 60 additional hours of community service within 3 months. And then the state is also asking for a curfew. The defense wishes to argue whether the curfew should be enforced. The state does believe it should be enforced. We'll give our reasons later. But those are the 4 conditions that the state's asking for at this time.
Jon did not remain to help, did not call emergency services. The UFC strips him of his title, not for the accident itself, for fleeing the scene. Sponsors drop him immediately. Nike, Reebok, endorsement deals vanish. Through a plea deal, Jon pleads guilty to leaving the scene.
I am here to accept full responsibility for what happened, for my actions, and I'm just really hoping that you guys can give me an opportunity to redeem myself.
18 months probation, community service. At a press conference, Jon apologizes, becomes emotional, says he let everyone down. Talks about seeking help, about change, about becoming better. The public reaction is divided. Some accept his apology. Many remain skeptical. The pattern is becoming clear. The cocaine, the accident, the flight. April 2016. 1 year later, UFC reinstates him, offers another chance. Scheduled to fight Daniel Cormier for the title. The buildup is massive. Jon versus DC. Personal animosity, real tension. In interviews, Jon appears focused. Says he's changed, says he's learned, says this time is different. 3 days before the fight, Jon is removed from the card.
If Jon is ever back, would you ever go through this again? Would you fight him again, given what you've been through with him, and this is the 4th time you tried to fight with him?
It's very disappointing. I've always fought whoever the UFC's offered me to fight, so I guess if Jon was back and the fight was the fight, then of course I would take it.
USADA flags him for a potential anti-doping violation. 2 banned substances detected, hydroxychloroquine and letrozole, both commonly used to restart testosterone production after steroid cycles. Jon claims the substances came from tainted sexual enhancement pills.
I don't know. I mean, we really got to look and see who's available, who's willing. What happens is when this news comes out, guys start calling Joe Silva going, I will take that fight. So that's usually how it works. When Joe lands, Joe's going to be like, what the hell? Guys are calling me to fight Cormier? This can't be good.
Yeah. He referenced heavyweight. I mean, would you? The pool would theoretically could have, include heavyweights. Would you? Do you think that that's a wise
I think
move?
he said he doesn't want to fight a heavyweight.
I thought he said 220. He'd fight up to 220, 220.
Is that what he said?
He said he can't fight a big guy because he started his weight cut at 220, 225.
Right. All our heavyweights are big guys.
Yeah.
So, Joe Silva just texted me.
USADA investigates, accepts his explanation, suspension reduced to 1 year. But the damage is severe. Another failure, another suspension, another broken promise. Every public statement about change now carries doubt. Every promise rings hollow. The rivalry. To understand Jon's trajectory, you have to understand Daniel Cormier. No rivalry in UFC history carries more personal weight, more contrast. They represent opposite paths. Jon, the troubled genius, the flawed champion, immense talent shadowed by repeated controversies. DC, the model professional, the family man, the Olympian who built his career through discipline. DC has never failed a drug test, never been arrested, never faced major controversy. He represents what Jon could be. The comparison is inescapable. The rivalry ignited in 2014, Jon the champion, DC the rising contender. What should have been a simple promotional stare-down escalated into a physical altercation. Security had to intervene. The animosity was immediate, genuine. They fought in January 2015, before the hit and run, when Jon was still the undisputed champion. One of Jon's most competitive fights. DC applied pressure, made Jon work, tested his limits, but Jon won by unanimous decision. Then came the hit and run. Jon was stripped.
For a long time, people asked for him to go up to fight at heavyweight against guys like Cain Velasquez, Stipe in his prime, and he was very hesitant about doing that. He fought Stipe at 41, no problem. He fought Cyril Gane, who's at limited, no problem. Now he's got a guy in front of him that is very dangerous, very hungry, and he's kind of going, I don't really want to do this. But guys, guess what? Maybe it's just over. Sometimes you just know it's over. Chael and I discussed this a while ago. Sometimes it's just over. And when you know, you walk away. Unfortunately, he waited so long that it's going to look like it looks. So right now, it's time to strip him. Strip him. It's time to strip him.
DC became champion, not through victory in the cage, through Jon's actions outside of it. DC wore the belt, but the circumstances remained a talking point. Jon's presence, even in absence, cast a shadow over DC's title reign.
Daniel, that was the final face-off between you and Jon Jones. You then followed him with your eyes until he exited the arena floor. What really are you feeling right now?
He's still playing. I'm not playing anymore. This is my life. You know, he won the first fight, okay, but he's still playing, blowing kisses, putting on a show. All the time for that stuff is done. It's time to fight. I'm ready to go.
Are you taking that as a bit of disrespect?
I don't know what he's doing, but I don't care. You know, I'm here to fight, man. I've been in here this whole time defending this title, representing this organization, and fighting for me and my family. That's what I'm gonna continue to do. Tomorrow, I will beat Jon Jones. Tomorrow, I will beat Jon Jones.
July 2017, the rematch, UFC 214. The anticipation is massive. Jon has served his suspension. The press conferences are hostile. Jon calls DC a coward. DC responds by calling Jon a drug cheat. Nearly come to blows at weigh-ins. Fight night. The Honda Center in Anaheim is electric. DC comes out aggressive.
To take on one of his chief rivals, if not his chief rival, the reigning champ, Daniel Cormier. Tonight's Fight Clock is brought to you by HSS, the world leader in orthopedics. Jon Jones in white getting off early here. Cormier in the black with gold.
Cormier checking the kicks very well right off the bat. See if he catches it. Create wrestling from the catching those kicks at all.
Oh, big. Looked like he knocked the mouthpiece out.
He did.
Huge
Big Jon picked it up. Spinning back kick to the body by Jon. Jones is fighting without a mouthpiece right now. Big Jon looks for an opportunity to give it back to him. Takedown for Jon Jones.
Not quite. No control.
Right back up to his feet.
There's no control from that takedown. Cormier was able to flip him right up. They'll still probably call it a takedown, though, the judges anyways.
Nice left hand over the top.
Southpaw stance from Jones. Watch the left high kick coming. See, Jones is eating the inside kick coming over the top of the Superman punch.
Small cut underneath the left eye of Daniel Cormier. You can't help but notice the obvious size discrepancy.
Jones just so long, he reaches so far. Inspector Gadget, arms and legs.
Well, he's a guy who will have length over most heavyweights if indeed he chooses to move up one day.
Cormier needs to keep the pressure, stay in the chin of Jones so he can't use his length so well. See the pressure from DC like he should be. The feints are going to do huge dividends, pay huge dividends for Jones if he keeps those fakes going on DC.
Jon loves those oblique kicks to the thighs, the hyperextending knees.
For 2 rounds, the fight is competitive. DC lands shots, makes it a real contest.
DC saying you're missing.
Oh, beautiful 2 shots. Left hook and a right uppercut.
Big uppercuts. Now DC's getting him coming in. Breaking his posture. Got Jones grabbing for a clinch and he's hitting him.
Jones with a high kick.
DC just oozing confidence here.
3rd round, Jon sees an opening, a head kick. Perfectly timed, perfectly placed. DC falls. Jon follows with ground strikes. The referee stops it. Jon Jones wins by knockout, reclaims the UFC light heavyweight championship.
Head strike, slight advantage for Daniel Cormier thus far.
And really, Jones is just being highly economical, going to the body on DC with the knees, with the low kicks, and with the body punches. It just make it, it's taxing. It adds up.
Cormier once again sends Jones retreating.
He's just having a hard time reaching John. Oh, John landed a high kick. He's hurt.
DC was stunned by that head kick. Jones trying to press the issue here. Cormier is down. Not out yet.
Cormier's in big trouble. And John is all over him.
Here comes Johnny Bones with the ground and pound. Cormier.
That could be it.
Trying to survive.
That's it. He's out. He's out.
Jon Jones has done it.
Jon celebrates intensely, confronts DC verbally, declares himself the greatest of all time.
That's a wrap.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Big John McCarthy has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 1 second of the third round, declaring the winner by knockout. And now, and again, the new undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Jon Bones Jones.
The performance is dominant. The moment appears to be vindication. He stands with the belt.
Give us your thoughts right now.
I don't know, man. I thought the fight was going well. I don't even know what happened. It's like I got kicked in the head. Oh, man. I'm so disappointed.
You know, I don't think it's a good idea to interview fighters after they've been knocked out, but I really wanted to give you a chance to express yourself. I know this was an incredible moment for you. It was very emotional. What can you say at all about this and the rivalry between you and Jon?
I don't know, man. I guess if you win both fights, there is no rivalry, so I don't know.
Thank you for everything, Daniel. Daniel Cormier, ladies and gentlemen.
For one moment, the narrative seems rewritten. 1 month later, Jon tests positive for turinabol, an anabolic steroid. The sample was collected the day before the fight. USADA suspends him. California overturns the result to a no contest. Jon is stripped. DC receives the belt back. Not through victory, through Jon's positive test. DC's response is direct, appears on multiple platforms, calls Jon a cheater.
I think it's crazy. You know, it's one of the craziest things, and USADA's being very straight line saying due process. Right. But the reality is, you can't fail drug tests. You can pass 100 tests, you cannot fail one. And they're saying we have to wait for the due process, but what are we waiting for? You know, we've tested the A sample, tested the B sample, and if there's anything, you cannot test positive. The fight is a no contest. If he cheated, he could not have fought and cheated and still won the fight. So once again, I'm the UFC champion. Now, people will say stuff like, well, you got handed the belt. He cheated, and the reality is for me to say, I don't want this title when I was gonna be in a championship fight anyways. Right. Financially, it's just a big difference if I don't fight as the champion opposed to fighting for a vacant title. I'm taking the belt.
A liar. States the knockout doesn't count because Jon had steroids in his system. Says Jon has never beaten him clean. The statement is difficult to dispute. The knockout occurred while Jon tested positive. The rivalry damaged both fighters in different ways. Jon's victories carry asterisks. His credibility is compromised. Every achievement now questioned. DC lost the definitive clean win, defeated everyone else, but couldn't escape the Jon Jones narrative. DC has stated publicly that losing to Jon affected him deeply. Not the loss itself, but losing to someone who later tested positive, twice. DC never received closure, never got to settle the question cleanly. His career became defined by his connection to Jon Jones. The rivalry isn't just about fighting ability, it's about contrast, about choices, about character. Jon defeated DC in the cage, but in every other measure, the comparison favors DC. The resurrection. After the turinabol suspension, Jon served 15 months. December 2018, he returned. Fought Alexander Gustafsson for the vacant light heavyweight title.
Good defense from both gentlemen there.
Superman punch attempt by Alex.
Gustafsson lands there to the body. 1 minute now to go, round one.
Gustafsson looking for the trip there. Good kick to the body by Jones.
And that's right when Alex switches. That shuts off the switch of Alex, so he doesn't want to switch stance. You tack him.
Jon won by third-round stoppage. Looked sharp, focused, technical.
The big difference in this fight has really been the leg kicks.
Good entry there by Jones. He gets his first
Jones
takedown.
on top. Elbows by Jones.
Now Jones got Alex in half guard. He's got that leg clamped down. He's got Alex flat on his back. Alex needs to get to his right hip and dig that left underhook up. Get that frame off of his chin. Push that by, get towards the hips.
He's also tying up that arm and forcing Gustafsson to be in that position where he could darce him.
He's too low. He's low on Alex's hips. Alex needs to bump his hips a little, pull him up top towards his head so he can get down, get that leg out of there. As long as Jon hooks that leg, he's not getting up.
Jon's reaching back, maintains that position in half guard. He stepped over, side control for Jon Jones. Sliding that arm through for the crucifix. Drops down a nasty elbow.
Now he's got a half Nelson here to keep Alex from bellying out. He wants to keep him from bellying out. Now he's going to throw his hook in.
He's going to take his back. He's going to take Alex's back. This is a bad position for Alex. He's got to scramble out of here. Oh, big shots. Big shots by Jon Jones.
in a world of trouble here.
Gustafsson's in trouble. That's
Jon
it.
Jones has regained the throne.
Champion again, for the third time. Post-fight, Jon spoke about change.
Without God, I am absolutely nothing. All glory be to God. With that being said, man, this is great. This is a great feeling. I want to thank my beautiful fiance, Jessie, man. She really helped me get through this one and all the fights.
About growth, about being different. Some in the audience wanted to believe. Others remained skeptical based on history.
The idea was to get back to wrestling, getting that right in time. And then after you get that right in time, start looking for ground and pound and submissions, and everything worked out.
The picogram controversy followed. Questions about trace amounts of substances, scientific explanations about metabolite pulsing. USADA cleared Jon to compete, but doubt remained a constant companion. Jon defended the title multiple times. Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, Dominic Reyes, he won all three. But the margins were narrow, the dominance less apparent. August 2020, Jon announced he was vacating the light heavyweight title, moving to heavyweight. Stated he had cleared out the division at 205 pounds. The move represented a fresh start, a new weight class without the accumulated history. Jon spent 2.5 years preparing, adding muscle, training with heavier fighters. During this period, no arrests, no failed tests, no public controversies. March 2023, UFC 285. Jon returned after the lengthy absence. Opponent, Cyril Gane for the vacant heavyweight title. Jon looked notably bigger, stronger, more filled out at heavyweight. The fight started and Jon was excellent. Took Gane down early in the first round. Secured a guillotine choke. Gane tapped. 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Jon Jones was the heavyweight champion. Dominant performance, impressive finish.
Jon's got the clinch, and he's got him down immediately. That is absolutely huge.
So about a minute in, Jones is able to get Gon to the canvas. We'll see how Gon is able to respond here.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge. You see Jones trying to keep his weight back on the hips of Cyril Gane. He's attacking the hips to try to flatten him out. Now you see Jones trying to get a hook in. Gane has got to try to circle his back towards the right. Jones does a good job of getting height here. He's attacking guillotine.
He's not under the chin.
And Gane's head is not really in there.
Certainly applying pressure, though, and keeping his head bent down makes it difficult to breathe. He's making him carry his weight.
Yes, that's important. Jones is just making him carry him.
And he's putting pressure.
Jones, the greatest of all time, and now the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world.
Jon became emotional in the octagon, tears visible. After all the suspensions, all the controversies, all the doubt, champion in a new division. The performance suggested redemption, proof of continued greatness, and for a moment it appeared that way. But questions never fully disappear. History leaves its mark. The contradiction. The most striking aspect of Jon Jones is the contradiction. Two versions exist simultaneously. Inside the octagon, genius, disciplined, strategic, calculating. Outside the octagon, chaos, impulsive, reckless, controversial. The fighter who methodically defeats Daniel Cormier is the same person who flees an accident scene. The athlete who submits Cyril Gane in 2 minutes is the same person who fails drug tests. How someone so intelligent in combat makes such damaging choices outside of it remains unclear. Jon frequently references God. Every interview includes religious gratitude. Social media features Bible verses. He presents himself as a man of faith.
You're in your late 30s, still the GOAT. I just want to know what is it that you guys have in common from a mental perspective that allows you guys to still perfect your craft even into your older years?
I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm grateful to have whatever it is. I definitely know that this is what I'll say first. I'm going to say my relationship with God. I'm far from perfect human being, but I do love God, and I feel like He loves me too. He loves us all, really. My fiance, she's taken me very far. Without her, I would not have made it this far. I know that for a fact. My team, the men in my life. I have extraordinary men in my life, and I am strong enough to know how to ask for help.
Someone guided by spiritual principles, but the actions don't align with the words. The gap between stated values and behavior is wide, visible, undeniable. Some interpret this as hypocrisy, others see it as genuine struggle. Perhaps Jon truly believes, truly wants to be the person he describes. Perhaps the religious Jon is authentic, and the reckless Jon is equally real. Two sides in constant conflict, neither fully winning. The people around Jon face their own challenges. Coaches, family, friends, many genuinely care, but caring proves insufficient. Supporting someone through repeated self-destructive patterns is exhausting. The pregnant woman from the 2015 accident represents the human cost. Her name rarely appears in coverage, but she exists. She was injured. She was left behind. The lawsuit was settled privately. Financial settlements don't erase what occurred. Jon's intelligence makes the pattern more difficult to understand. Not ignorance leading to mistakes, but brilliance coexisting with poor judgment. This suggests something deeper than simple carelessness, something psychological, something talent and intelligence alone cannot solve. The tragedy is that Jon could have been both talented and exemplary. No requirement to choose between greatness in competition and character outside of it. He could have had both, could have been complete. Instead, he's the best fighter and one of the most controversial figures. That gap represents choice, not destiny, and it's cost him everything that skill alone cannot provide: respect, admiration, uncomplicated legacy, peace. The question. November 2024, Madison Square Garden, UFC 295. Jon defends his heavyweight title against Stipe Miocic. Stipe is a legend, the greatest heavyweight champion in UFC history, 3-time title holder. But Stipe is 42, hasn't competed in over 3 years. The competitive context is clear. This represents a legacy fight, a recognizable name, not the most challenging available option. Jon dominates. Finishes Stipe with a spinning back kick to the body in round 3. Brutal, technical, decisive.
Showing off that historically great chin,
but it's the speed difference. It's very evident.
Jones greets Miocic with a punch on the way in.
There's a good left hand by Stipe.
And he's landed some big right hands this round, but Jones rolling with them well.
Stipe's hit him more this round than he did in round 1 and 2.
Combined.
Big kick to the body by Jon.
We heard a heel! Right to the body!
That's it.
And still! How good is Johnny Bones? How good?
Wow!
Jon retains the title, celebrates, speaks about his legacy, about being the greatest of all time. The performance is impressive, but the conversation immediately shifts elsewhere, to someone not in the cage, Tom Aspinall. Tom is seated cage side, the interim heavyweight champion. Won the interim title by knocking out Sergey Pavlovich in 69 seconds.
We talk about Pavlovich's size, but DC, Tom Aspinall walked into the fighter meeting and you said to him, man, you are enormous.
Boy, he looks so much bigger in person, right? But it's because he's a little taller, long and lean for the heavyweight division. That's not what you used to seeing. Oh, he hurt him.
Sergey tagged him early.
Yeah, Tom took a dose.
But he knows.
Oh, he's on notice now.
Yeah, he's on notice.
Toyo Tires, official tire of UFC.
You can't make any mistakes with Sergey.
Aspinall's father, Andy, in his corner. He's been at essentially every training session since Tom was 8 years old.
Those leg kicks will pay dividends.
Has been publicly requesting the Jon fight for over a year. 31 years old, fast, powerful, undefeated in the UFC except for one injury stoppage. Tom represents the obvious next challenge. The unification bout fans want to see.
I would hope so.
I would love to, man.
I would hope so.
Respect, man.
All the best.
Respect.
All the best.
We'll do a quick picture.
Sure.
Yeah?
Let's get it.
A face-off.
No,
Okay. No problem. No problem.
That's great. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jon. Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you, Tom.
I would love to have the honor one day. I would love to have the honor.
Maybe one day.
Hope so, man. All the best. All the best. How's everything?
It's healing. So slowly but surely.
Okay. All the best, man.
Thanks.
Thank you, man. Thanks for letting me come on. Thank you.
After Jon defeats Stipe, the crowd begins chanting, Tom, Tom, Tom. The media wants it, the UFC wants it, the fighters want it. In the post-fight interview, Joe Rogan asks Jon about Tom. Jon's response, deflection, mentions possibly fighting Alex Pereira instead.
This is another milestone for you. You've now defended the heavyweight title. There's been all this talk about the future as to whether or not you'll fight a super fight with Alex Pereira, whether or not you would fight Tom Aspinall, whether you retire after this fight. I know we'd all love to see you keep going. How do you feel right now?
You know what? While I got the moment, while everybody's cheering and so happy, I want to acknowledge Jesus Christ. And as far as my future in the octagon, I decided that maybe I will not retire, and that I have some conversations to have with Dana and Hunter, and we have some negotiating to do. And if everything goes right, maybe we'll give you guys what you want to see.
Pereira is the current light heavyweight champion, a compelling striker, a money fight, but not the interim champion sitting cage side, not the rightful contender. The reaction from the MMA community is immediate. Fighters express opinions on social media. The consensus, Jon should fight Tom. Some use stronger language, accusations of avoidance, questions about motivation. Jon responds defensively, states he's never avoided anyone, points to his record, says he doesn't owe anyone anything. But the defensiveness itself raises questions. Why not simply accept the obvious fight? Tom represents a specific type of challenge. Young, athletic, skilled in all areas, 6'5" inches with an 80-inch reach, fast for a heavyweight, dangerous striker, solid grappling, the exact kind of opponent who tests whether a champion is still at their peak. Jon is 37, hasn't competed regularly in years. Father Time affects everyone. Tom is the kind of fighter who exposes decline if decline exists. The situation creates an ironic contrast. Jon's career was defined by accepting every challenge, fighting everyone, defeating all comers. Now, with the opportunity to fight cleanly against a worthy opponent, he hesitates. Choosing legacy fights, safer matchups, older opponents, the pattern is observable. The conclusions are left to others. This situation affects Jon's legacy differently than failed drug tests, because it addresses a question about greatness itself. True champions seek the hardest challenges, welcome tests of their abilities. When champions begin choosing opponents strategically, selecting easier paths, avoiding difficult fights, it reveals something about where they are in their career, about confidence, about belief. Jon says he wants to cement his legacy as the greatest, but the interim champion sits waiting, the unification fight available, and Jon discusses other options. The question remains unanswered. Conclusion: Jon Jones, the most talented fighter the UFC has ever seen, and the most complicated. A man who had everything, and lost much of it. Not once, not twice, repeatedly. His story isn't about redemption, it's about contradiction. Extraordinary potential, extraordinary problems. Jon could have been the undisputed greatest of all time. No asterisks, no controversy, no doubt. Instead, he's the most talented fighter who repeatedly derailed his own career. The champion who defeated everyone in the cage, but struggled with himself outside of it. We'll never know what Jon Jones could have been with different choices. If he'd remained clean, if he'd maintained discipline outside the cage, if character had matched talent. We'll never know because events unfolded differently. Not through one mistake, through a pattern. Each incident preventable, each consequence predictable. Jon is still competing, still winning, still the heavyweight champion. But the narrative has changed, the aura compromised, the legacy complicated. People watch Jon now with different expectations. Not just to witness greatness, but to observe how the story continues. The dark side of Jon Jones isn't malice. It's the inability to align extraordinary ability with consistent choices outside competition. A fighter who solved every puzzle in the cage, but couldn't solve the challenges beyond it. That gap is why his name carries questions, why his legacy generates debate, why his greatness remains contested. Jon Bones Jones, the most dangerous fighter in the UFC, dangerous to every opponent who faced him, and as history shows, to his own legacy.